On behalf of AIMS, I render a warm welcome to all our students, faculty members, research scholars, especially my eminent speaker, my great friend, and excellent knowledgeable personality, intellectual personalities, Professor Masood, Ahmed, and all my dear friends. My warm welcome to all for this inspiring young leaders sessions, which is exclusively session for youth, young minds. You have to understanding about the mind, the leader's mind, how to lead your life, how to succeed your objectives. So with this, today the aims inspiring young leadership sessions. The topic, the exclusively topic on new management mantra, art of reversing the enemy. I think today the topic is a really very wonderful topic, the unique topic. The management mantra is not only for the business student. The management mantra is not only for the B school students, which is common to every individual in the life. The management mantra in the sense how to manage your family, how to manage your corporate, how to manage your friends, how to managing the situations. The situational management is very, very important. That's what today the topic is really very, very wonderful topic. I think the students from different disciplines, not only from the management, including the commerce, the business administration, or the psychology, economics, various discipline students, eager to listening these great gentlemen discussions. What he has to emphasize, how he has to emphasize, on what basis you have to get a benefit from his excellent lecture, for which the aims organizing such a wonderful, inspiring young leaderships, my dear friends. So with this, I'm really very proud to introduce myself first of all. I am Professor Dr. Maran, Professor Director, Sairam Institute of Management Studies, Sairam Engineering College, Chennai. I think my profile so far I have produced 46 research candidates, more than published 225 research articles in referred journals, including Scopus, Web of Science, ABDC, UGC Catalyst journals, and I have presented more than 200 research articles in different nations, different international universities. I have authored a textbook. In addition to that, my identifications in Tamil Nadu, I used to appear in number of televisions, media, debate discussions. Even yesterday, one of the leading private televisions media, Pudhiya Thalamarais, I have discussed about layoff software industries. Software industries layoff. So like that, many discussions. Every week I used to discuss many TV debate discussions, especially relevant to the educations, quality of education, economical aspect, social aspect. I think my introduction is enough to you. But I am really very proud to honor and also to be associated with the great AIMS, Association of Indian Management School. So the Association of Indian Management School is one of the leading management body, the leading management forum across India. This is not across India, even in Asian countries, the AIMS forum which is really very excellent. Here I am really very privileged to tell about the AIMS and its establishment, how they are functioning, how many of them benefited, on what basis they are protecting and promoting and developing and instituting of management institutes, as well as the management faculty and our students, how they are leading in this great inspiration. So in these great occasions, I would like to tell about the aims here. So in the Annals of Management Education Sector, 27th August 1988, it should be what? Remembered as a great and mark as it was on this day, the Association of Indian Management Schools, a highly impact-making networking body was born in 1988. For the past 25 years, so what they are doing for the communities, 30 years, what they are doing for the communities. So it has the strong support about 550 high-ranking B schools as its members, and it's one of the largest networking bodies in the world. It is an umbrella organization for the management institutions. I think more than 600 institutions as a member. At the same time, they are the strong network bodies. They are rendering n number of services pertaining to the management schools, ranking, rating, faculty development, management development, organizing conference, supporting for research, n number of activities they are serving. Such a wonderful associations. I am also close associate with the AIMS and also chapter chairman for Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry for the past 5 years. In addition to that, AIMS has been involved in protecting the interest of the management institutions from the vagaries of the restrictive governmental regulations, professionalization of management educations, creations and disseminations of management-related knowledge through its various activities like round tables for deans and directors, faculty and students development events, organizing conventions, national and international conventions, seminars and workshops, publication and distribution of the AIMS journals of management, funding for research proposals, and financial assistance in various activities. So of late, there has been a spurt in diversifying into new activities for the benefits of the deans and directors, researchers, faculties, and students in the shape of inspiring young leaders and knowledge sharing sessions, at least one each every week. These new initiatives are fascinating to many faculties and young minds of the students. So this is during this COVID-19, even they are continuing the inspiring talk, the young leaders' mind. I think the resource person for this inspiring young mind program, like Masood sir, there are n number of knowledgeable, intellectual personalities took part in this event and shared the rich experience for the management communities. I think in this aspect, on behalf of you and our speaker, I am grateful that the AIMS has given a wonderful opportunities. The AIMS present chairman, the president, Dr. Nadu, Dr. Sunil, secretaries, treasuries, and all board of members of AIMS, I am really very grateful. On behalf of you, I thank all. I think this kind of resources, which is very, very rare resources, which is highly intellectuals, which is highly need for the students, the need of ours. So in this aspect, AIMS is constantly supporting for the faculty, the management students and research scholars to enhancing your capability, enhance your credentials, enhance your capacities in different dimensions, especially in the area of management. I think I'm really thankful for the management. Our AIMS has given a wonderful opportunities. In addition to this, I am really very proud to introduce the great speaker today. I think the speaker is not just like speaker, he is very orator, poeter, writer, the multi-dimensional responsibilities, multi-dimensional skill personality. Today he is with us. On behalf of AIMS and you, I render a warm welcome, sir, for your great and valuable presence and ready to sharing your rich experience. I think Professor Masood is a very great personality. He is a professor of healthcare management with more than three decades of services in various areas of healthcare and management studies. And the administrative various positions in various institutions, including the dean, directors, heading, and various portfolios. Such a great personality today he is with us. Now he is presently secretary, Association of Health and Hospital Administrations, is a present positions, and sir visiting and acted as a guest professors for more than 200 institutions across India and also abroad. So the 200 institutions, more than 200 lectures in different topics, which shows his quality, which shows his credentials, which shows his capability. Today, the capability is one of the most powerful part to determine of every individual. Today, Mr. Masood, Dr. Masood, as one of the exemplar, the role model for all the youngsters, the young minds people, those who are connecting here, such a great personality, and also but he has lectured in different areas. Management lessons from poetries, management, what do you call here, lessons from mythologies, and management lessons from the life skills improvement. He is famous for using poetries. I think he has authored a textbook of poetries. I think it's very excellent textbook. For the textbook, what he has referred more than 200 years old, the poetries, the various literatures in different disciplines, including the anthropology, psychology, sociology, management, history, all these things, which is really very important. If you want really enhancing your life skills, the managerial skills, you cannot focus only on management. You have to focus on different dimensions. Mr. Masood has contributed a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, a lot of potentials for the excellent textbook which is recently released. Professor Masood, as a president of AIMS in 2011-12, he has organized faculty development programs, with the Professor K. Bhushans, one of the leading professors in management, and Professors M.R. Rao as a resource persons. The 15 one-day programs benefited 1,113 management faculties from 320 management institutes throughout the nations, where he acted as a program director, resource persons. It was considered a national movement in the management educations. I think when you are list out the real contributor of the management educations, we could easily list out only the single digit or might be a double digits, which is not possible to go to 3 digits. So in this double digits, Mr. Masood is one of the real contributors. He always constantly supporting for the student communities, faculty communities in different dimensions in terms of knowledge, in terms of their experience and research aspects. And he is the author of well-known books titled, just now I told you, the management lessons from poetries, and leadership excellence from poetries. The leadership excellence is one of the powerful part. Today, India is needed. Today, our country is need leadership. Today, we need of the leadership is more important. How to lead the country, how to lead the family, how to lead the individual. The individual success is one of the critical factor. How to lead yourself. As a leader, you have to enhance your skills. The leadership excellence from poetry is more important because he has to correlate the historical events, the poets, various literatures. Such a great personality today he is. If you talk about Mr. Masood, even the 1 hour which is not possible. Such a great personality today he is with us. Very sorry, sir. Your biographies keep on going more than a page. Even you could argue I can speak more than an hour, which is not right for me. So in these great occasions, on behalf of you, once again warm welcome to all for these inspiring young leadership sessions, and also my special thanks, my special invitations, Professor Masood, Ahmed, to share your rich experience. With this, I leave this forum and request the great personalities to share his rich experience in his life, during his life. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable presence, and you can share your rich experience. Thank you very much, all my dear friends. Thank you.
It's a very good afternoon, everybody. And a special thanks to my colleague, Dr. Maram, who is the moderator and who is the master of ceremony and the anchor. And the success of any program also depends not only on the speaker, but also the moderator and the master of ceremony. So this is the thing. So we have a limited time. Let us go to the business directly. First, at the outset, I would like to thank AIMS, particularly the president of AIMS, Dr. Nadu Gopalji, who is a friend of mine from more than 2 decades, and the executive board of AIMS, who organized this event. And usually what happened, friends, myself and Dr. Maram, we are on the screen. We call it as a front end. The back end is a big, actually it is the AIMS association. And we have the technical person like Mr. Sunil, who is the technical backbone, and Mr. Venkateshwaro Ji, he is the executive secretary, and the other staff like Rohini and Murli at Ames office. So they have organized, but simply we are sitting in front of camera and we are delivering the lecture. Thanks to all. Friends, it is, I think, thanks and congratulations to all the registered candidate and whoever are watching this program. I can tell you before, I think afternoon, I checked our registrations are more than 1,500 from all over India and reaching to about 2,000 registered candidate all over India. And surprisingly, as my friend told, Dr. Maram, it is not exclusively for the management graduate and the B school student. Surprisingly, I can tell you the highest number of students may be from the management, MBA and PGDPM background. The second lot highest registration we have got from the faculty member from all over India. And surprisingly, the third registered more number of candidates, they are from the BSc background. I think it is a surprise for everybody and for me also. Thanks to all the BSc students from all over India. More than I think 300 students registered for this program. Let us go to the program now. Let me go for this presentation. I have written the new management mantra, the art of reversing the enemy. The background is very simple. What I can tell you that about 2 years back, I have authored a book called The Management Lessons from Poetry. You can see my backdrop and I can show you also. So this is my book I'm keeping here. So in this book, I have written about 222 management lessons which covering almost 22 subjects of management, whether it is for MBA, PGDPM or BBA or BCom or maybe social sciences. So in this book, I have introduced 5 new concepts. And 5 new concepts like die-hard organization, organizational immunity, hyper communication, and one of the management concept, the new management mantra which I am addressing now, it is called reversing the enemy. See here, always what happens last month, I had a talk like this. It was art of selecting the employer. So the previous topic and this topic, it will look like a little bit odd or little bit confusing and little bit, what we can say, it may be arrogant also. So, but with great simplicity and humility, I would like to justify why I am keeping this topic. See, as my friend told, Dr. Maram told, this lecture and this talk, it is not exclusively for the management professional. Because if you take the management as a discipline, as a practice, no, we require in almost all the domain and all the streams of our life. I say that the management is required 365 days and 24/7 for individual, irrespective of your profession and occupation. What my experience says was when I was in schooling, I was doing up to 10th class or I was doing my 11th and 12th graduation and post-graduation. I found that during the process of learning, I used to have some critics. The critics may are relatives, my classmates, my teachers, like that. So, and we can divide our life into 5 different domains, like personal life. So if you have personal life as an individual, I as a Masood Ahmed, and family life, I've got my own family. Everybody has got the family. And third one is the professional life, like I'm a professor, others, they are students, doctors, engineer, and pharmacist. And you may be having something like social life with the community, and ultimately you have something like religious and spiritual life. What I say with my observation, whether it is your personal life, professional life, social life, and religious life, I think right from your birth to death, you will have some opponents, you will have some critics, you will have some competitors, you may have some enemy also. Here the topic, what I'm talking enemy, it is not the real meaning. Enemy I've taken as a generic. Enemy is not the person who is going to kill you and kill me. That's not the thing actually. The degree of enmity may be right from the critic. The critic may be your close relative, your parents are your critic, your teachers are your critic, your elders are your critic. So they are critic, but we cannot call it as an enemy. So I want to justify that enemy means it is the generic one. So what I did actually, I have taken this concept from this book. Actually, on a particular page, on a single page, I explained this concept actually on a single page. So on a single page, this is page number 27 of my book. So here, what I did actually, I have taken a couplet. I told you, there are 222 management lessons I have written in this book. And this lesson, this is one of the lessons from 2022, but I introduced a new management concept. It may be argued, it may be debated. I am not telling it is a perfect. See, any research, it will be trial and error only. It may be accidentally. So I may be talking this thing by trial and error or accidentally I'm talking. So what I did actually, I have written a couplet written by me. Okay. So couplet part, you see the poetic transliteration. Poetic transliteration, basically the couplet, it is in Urdu language. Then I have transliterated in Hindi language and the Roman English, the English language. Any Indian can read that one. Let us assume somebody may not be knowing the Urdu, Hindi and the Roman English, the transliteration. Then I have given the translation and then the management lesson. Let us complete this slide. Then we can go for the other concept. See, my couplet is very simple. First, I would like to explain all the attendees that know you may not be having that much of knowledge about the Hindi and Urdu. There is a word I use, adu. Adu is a word. Adu in English I have written A-D-W-U, adu. Adu means it is an enemy in Urdu. So here I have written a couplet. It is in Hindi and Urdu, mixed language. तू इंसान है तो बस ऐसा कमाल पैदा कर. This couplet is written by me to develop this concept. I have written तू इंसान है तो बस ऐसा कमाल पैदा कर. अदू से दोस्त भी कुछ बेमिसाल पैदा कर. अदू means दुश्मन, enemy. So दुश्मन से दोस्त भी कुछ बेमिसाल पैदा कर. So I do realize and I do understand that all the 100% attendees, they may not be knowing this Hindi couplet and all. Don't worry. The next section, you have a poetic translation. So the couplet says, it's very simple. Let me go for the poetic translation. What it says actually. This couplet, I repeat once again, to insa hai. Insa means human being. To insa hai to bas aisa kamal paida kar. Adu se dost bhi kuch bemisal paida kar. The transliteration of this couplet, 2 lines, the first line says that if you are a human being, you should create such a caliber. You should have your skill. So you should have your trait. You should have your leadership. You should have your interpersonal skills. You should have your social skills. So I call it as a caliber. So if you are a human being, you should create such a caliber. Second line, the poet, I myself says, make some remarkable friends among the enemies. So what I say, you should have a exceptional caliber, exceptional personality, where you're going to transform your worst enemies to the best friends. So this is my thinking, this is my vision, and this is my dream. And it is possible. It is not that theoretically, because the poets know most of the time they talk in theory, they talk in vague, without defining. There may not be substance. But here I can tell you, when I go for the next slides, I can tell you something. So briefly, once again, I repeat, my couplet is very simple in Hindi and Urdu. तो इंसान है तो बस ऐसा कमाल पैदा कर. अदू से दोस्त भी कुछ बेमिसाल पैदा कर. अगर तुम इंसान हो, अगर तुम ह्यूमन बीइंग हो, तो आप में ऐसा कैलिबर होना चाहिए, आप में एक अट्रैक्टिव पर्सनालिटी होना चाहिए, that you should transform the worst enemy and your critic, your opponent, your competitor into the best friend and best colleague, best professional, best boss, best superior. So this is my vision actually. So that I have did it. This is the translation. Then what is the management lesson I have written in this book, page number 27? This para will tell you the importance and significance and utility of this new management mantra, the art of reversing the enemy. So I have mentioned in the book the business leaders in organizations. Don't confuse with the business leader. As I've told you, here I use business leader, but leader may be anybody. A housewife or head of the family in our house, he is also a leader. So our teacher is a leader. Our doctor is a leader. Our engineer is a leader. Our bureaucrat is a leader. So like that. So this is in this context actually. The business leaders in organization have different experiences in handling different people and occasions, different occasions. Most of them are useful in this regard, yet they encounter the enemies too. So such leaders should have the ability to transform them appropriately. Thus, the right leaders should have the power to make the worst enemies be the best friend over a period. It is an art of revising. It is an art of reversing the enemy. So you have to convert, you have to transform, you have to change your opponent as a best friend and best associate. So this is the concept. Let us go in detail. Let us start. As I've told you, I have got a student right from BCom student, BSc student, intermediate, and the housewives also they are attending. So let me go to the generic level. Enemy. The art of reversing the enemy. First, I would like to talk about enemy. If you go to the dictionary, a person who hates and tries to harm you, he's your enemy. An enemy is a person who actively opposes someone or something. Either he is opposing someone or something. The Latin word inimicus, meaning hostile, unfriendly, is the root of enemy. So it is a Latin word, inimicus, meaning is hostile or unfriendly, he is the enemy. So similarly, let me go in detail. I went for enemy. I went for enemy synonymous. I went to the dictionary, and in those dictionary, the enemy, the synonymously or the simple words are like this. Enmity, hostility, and enmity, grudge, enmity, hatred, and similarly you have, I think more than 24 things we have. Vendetta, it is included. Discord, it is included. And friction, it is included. Bad blood, it is included. So randomly I'm taking hate, it is included. And disaffection, it is included in enmity. So these are the terms in our life, day-to-day life we use. Enmity means all these things. Synonymously we use like this, and the similar words we use like this. So this is about similar word related to enemy and enmity. And then enmity, I'm talking about antonyms and similar word. What is opposite to the enmity and enemy? The reason is because we are talking about art of reversing. What does it mean by reversing? Reversing means we are changing to the 360 degrees. We are changing to the 100%. So enemy, we want to make it as a friend. Critic, we want to make it our fellow. So like this, we want to do it. So for that purpose, in order to explain that what we are reversing and what trait we are bringing and what characteristic we are bringing after transformation, it is the amity, friendship, friendliness, hospitality, sympathy, and amiability, and empathy, civility, goodwill, committee, cordiality, and understanding. So this is after transformation of the personality from the worst to the best. So we should know the target, where we are and where we are going to reach. So if you want to know the target from enemy, where we are going to transform him, better we should go for what is the antonym and near antonyms of enemy and enmity. So now I'm talking about art of reversing the enemy. The new age competition, why we are doing all these things, why we are discussing. You have got so many issues. Why I'm telling, competitors and opponents are common from almost all the businesses, all the organization, and all the situations. You will find the competitor. I say even if you go to the religious place, to the religious practice, you will find some competitor there. I'm giving just example. So like that, no, these competitors and opponents you will find everywhere, whether it is business or non-business. Then nearly everyone working in an organization encounters some sort of opposition daily. And third one, competitors and opponents may be a colleague, superior and subordinate. I can say a friend or relative, anything in our personal life, family life and social life. And then at times, individuals working in the same cadre and designation in the organization become opponents actually. This situation is also there. Now, reversing the enemy concept. What I say in the reversing the enemy? Reversing the enemy, in the lesson itself, I explained, but let me go in detail. What does mean by reversing? Reversing the enemy is a process where the business leaders, the individuals and managers have the right capability of transforming their biggest business opponents and competitor into their best associates. They should become the best associate, best fellow. So reversing the enemy trait, what traits we require? Ultimately, see, the problem with the professors and poets like us, I say in Hindi, प्रोफेसर इस तरीके से बात करता है सिर्फ प्रोफेसर को समझ में आता है और शायर इस तरीके से बात करता है सिर्फ शायर को समझ में आता है. What I'm telling, because I use sometimes Hindi and Urdu, what I'm telling, the poets, person like us, professors know, sometimes they talk in a such a way, difficult and complex and complicated way, only professors will understand. And even the poets also, sometimes they do the poetry in a such a way, only the poets will understand that poetry. It should not be like that. So now I'm talking about the trait. Enemy is there and you want to transform him into the best friend and best business associate or best fellow. How we are going to do it? They are expected to have the remarkable exemplary approach. Who? The leader, individual, you and I. The great level of simplicity you should adopt. The great level of humility. These are the basics and these are the foundation. Positive approach with a specific intention and the sole objective of coexistence. Coexistence means our opponent, our enemy should be alive and I should be alive. Coexistence. Or I can say either we can have coexistence or no existence. If I am alive, my enemy should be alive. If I am not alive, if my enemy is not alive, then what is the point of my be alive? So that is the thing. Growing together by creating win-win situation. So if you want to transform your competitor and opponent and critic, you should have the vision and mission and the sole objective growing together by creating win-win situation. See, enemy means what? There is a conflict, there is a war. And why there is a conflict, there is a war? Because I want to win and others should lose. My enemy should lose. And there will be the war and he'll be enemy forever. But the situation, what I'm telling, the sole objective is creating win-win situation. I myself should win and my enemy must win. So that is important here. So now I'm going for the approach, reversing the enemy, the approach and strategy. How we are going to do? How we are going to transform our worst critic, competitor and opponent to the best associate, friend and fellow. How we are going to transform that one? Then I have got so many cases. Actually, when I was studying the world history, when I was studying the sociology, psychology, and political science and public administration, I find so many incidents where few of the best leaders, they transform their worst enemy into the best friend. And something I have taken from the mythology also. The first approach, I say, because you would have seen my friend Professor Maram told I run a program called Management Lessons and Leadership Lessons from Mythology. What is that mythology? I take the help from the Hindu mythology, Ramayana, Mahabharata and Vedas. And I take the Christian mythology. I take Christian teaching from the Bible. Quran and Guru Granth like this. Now, first, I can tell you, according to the Vedic culture, if you go for the Hindu mythology, even the Hindu mythology and the Vedic culture says, even if your enemy comes to your home, you should receive him in such a way that he will forget that you are his enemy. Because of that, in Hindu mythology, we call it as a Atiti Dev Bhava. Atiti Dev Bhava, your guest. Your guest. If he is visiting, your guest may be your enemy. Your guest may be your enemy. It happened so many times in Ramayana and Mahabharata and the Vedas that know where the enemy visited the house of the opponent and the host has received cordially, and host acted cordially, politely, and he served as a host. So that is the Vedic culture and that is our mythology. So according to the mythology, even if your enemy comes to your home, you should receive him in such a way that he will forget that you are his enemy. The second quote I have taken from the Bible. The Bible, Matthew chapter 4-44. Bible says, if your enemies are hungry, give them bread to eat. And if they are thirsty, give them water to drink. So this is the trait and this is the approach, what I told about Vedic culture, what I'm reading now from the Bible. So you should believe, you should adopt, and you should follow. I told you about the Vedic culture, and the Bible also says that no, that whether is your enemy and all, you have to look after. And let me go for the third one. Third one I have taken from the Sikhism, Gurbani. Gurbani says about the revenge, hatred and vengeance is rejected throughout the Sikh scriptures. Whatever Sikhism teachings are there, right from Guru Nanak Ji to the Guru Gobind Ji, what happened if you go for the Gurbani and all, they have written that no, there is no question, there is no scope for the revenge. There is no scope for the hatred and vengeance. And it is all rejected in the Sikhism. And these are the teaching of the great Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So I wanted to emphasize that this art of reversing the enemy, it is not that it is not out of the box thinking, or there is no rocket science involved, because it is our history, it is our culture, it is our belief that no, we should do it. It is something different that we missed our culture, we missed our mythology, we missed our spirituality. Because of that, there are some issues. Now let us go for the Islam also. It is mentioned the Prophet Muhammad, the peace upon him, was always neutral when trying to understand the resolve the conflicts. He used to have hundreds and thousands of conflicts and opponents and critics 1400 years ago. He decided the cases even of his enemies with strict justice and fairness. His enemies brought their suits to him without any fear or hesitation, for they knew that they would get justice only from him. So this is the role model actually. Whatever I am talking from the Hindu mythology, the Christianity and the Sikhism and the Islam, and almost all the religions, the great religions have given the great teachings regarding respect, recognize your enemy. Enemy, it is not always for killing him and he's killing me. It's not the thing and all. And things will be solved without war and without killing. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation. Now, few of the greats, these are all cases actually, what I'm talking, because I'm talking on one slide. I'm spending only 1 minute or 2 minutes. Otherwise, it will become a case study actually. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. A great father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, he says, if you have confrontation with your opponent, with your critic, with your competitor, with your enemy. Conquer him. Try to win. But that winning, it must be with love and affection, empathy, sympathy. Who is telling? The father of nation. And then next approach and strategy of reversing the enemy, I can explain you from Nelson Mandela. He was the father of nation for the South Africans. Okay, South Africa. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemy. No. So, if you are going for the revenge, if you are going for the hatred, if you are going for resentment, so it is a vicious circle. It is a one-way process. If you enter in that track, then you will not come out. You think that no, with this, no, you can kill. No, it is something like poison. The time will come where you will be killed actually because of this resentment. So this you should be careful because in long run, it is not sustainable. So this you should be careful. Now, next strategy I'm taking from Gaussian. Gaussian is a philosopher and a historian and a great thinker. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. There is a saying in Hindi also. हजार बेवकूफ दोस्तों से एक अक्लमंद दुश्मन बेहतर है. I repeat, you may have thousands of foolish friends, no value. But if you have one enemy with great, what we say, the traits or great personality and sincerity, the commitment, or what I can say, the whatever positive soft skills and social skills we discussed in the class, that if you have one enemy, he may be your enemy, he may be your critic, and he may be your opponent, but he has got all the positive social traits. He has got all the interpersonal skills. Whereas we have got the 1,000 friends, but most of them are useless. So this you should remember, a wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. So yeah, if you have the fools, bunch of fools, it is a disastrous actually. Now, from the business perspective or the organization perspective, because we have the teachers and we have got the student from management, from the commerce or from the social sciences, then the art of reversing the enemy can boost what? It can boost your activities, organizational activity. It will boost your operations and thereby assure profitability and better growth. So whatever organization you have got here, you may be having the profit-making organization or the social organization where the motive is not earning profit. So there you can boost your operations and you can boost your revenues and you can boost your profitability in case of motive is profit, earning profit. Benefits decisively in the long run. See, the issue is here, the art of reversing the enemy, this process and this new management mantra, it is not in short run. It's not that today you have taken the decision and tomorrow you want to have the result. No, you cannot. You cannot do like that. It's not days. It's not weeks, and even it is not like months. It may take more than months. It may take few years also. So it is a long run phenomena. The sustainability will be there in the long run. Short run, within one day and within 1 week, you want to have the turnaround. And you want to have the transformation, may not be possible actually. So this I wanted to tell you. Then next one, strategic initiatives in the form of expansion. See, if you are able to reverse your enemy, reverse your opponent, reverse your competitors, reverse your critic, what you can do, you can think about a strategic initiative. In all the organization, whether the business organization or even you take the family, you can go for the expansion. Not in terms of number of members and all. Expansion, I'm telling the economic activity of a family, because you have the family managed business. So where the whole family is working, you can think about the expansion if you have got the less number of critics and opponents. And then diversification, you can diversify because now you do not have any challenge from the market and competition. We can think about the expansion and diversification. And turnaround strategy. You can turn around means you can make it from zero to hero, or you can make it to negative to positive. You can make it to the dark to the daylight. So all these things is possible in the turnaround strategy. And then creating business combination in the form of business acquisition. You can go for the acquisition, you can go for the takeovers, you can go for the mergers, because you're able to reverse your opponent and component. Now, because now I've got about 5 to 8 minutes, then I'll be going for the conclusion. I told you, that you take any event, whether I'm taking the event or anybody is taking the event, I tell the speakers, the resource person, what is important? See, somebody is spending time for 1 hour for this session. Whoever is attending and whoever is participating, there should be something as a takeaway. We should take something with this presentation. Otherwise, I think it is something like killing our time and waste of our time for myself and the organizers and yourself. So I'm more particular about this one. If there is no takeaway for any event, if there is a lecture or a seminar and conference, I think I have wasted the time and you have wasted the time. I can tell you, whatever we are talking, with the transformation of your opponent, critic, competitor, to the business associate, fellow friend, or the friend. What we can do it? I'm telling, the reversing the enemy is a strategic turnaround initiative. See, these two terms you should remember: strategic turnaround initiative. See, what is turnaround? Turnaround is 100% change. Turnaround is 100% transformation. Turnaround, you can bring in the things from dark to the light. Turnaround, it is something like bringing from negative to positive. So reversing the enemy is a strategic turnaround initiative. It is for whom? It is for you and it is for I. It is for your organization. It is for my organization. And it is for your personal life. It is your family life. And it is your social life. Everybody is not working as a business manager and business leader. Everybody has got their own role. I am a public speaker. When I go to the religious places and head of the religious place also, I tell them that go for this trait, go for this approach of reversing the enemy, that you see what happens in your respective domain and sector. So the individuals, the families, and the organization can believe this one, can adopt this one, and can bring the transformation. See, one of the couplet in my some other poetry book, I have written one of the couplet in conclusion I am using. I told, जिस कदर गहरे अंधेरों में उतर जाओगे तुम. It means you may have the great struggle and tough time, limitation, hurdles and barriers, highest level. Don't worry. जिस कदर गहरे अंधेरों में उतर जाओगे तुम, रोशनी में दिन की उतने ही निखर जाओगे तुम. What I say, the every darkest night shall bring the brightest day. So this is the soul of this new management mantra. if you have got the toughest time, if you have got the toughest enemy, if you have got the toughest competitor and toughest opponent, I can tell you with my experience and exposure, you can transform him. The scenario, the situation may be the worst. As I've told you in my couplet, Urdu couplet, it's there in my book. जिस कदर गहरे अंधेरों में उतर जाओगे तुम, रोशनी में दिन की उतने ही निखर जाओगे तुम. And then somebody asked me that, have you tested this one? Few of my friends and colleagues, they asked me, Professor Masood, you talk about enemy and reversing the enemy and all. What is the proof that it will give the benefit? I told them, the proof is myself and my life. And whatever I am, little bit I could do and little bit I could achieve. The credit goes to my critic. Credit goes to my opponents. And credit goes to my competitor. I'm not talking as a professor now, right from my childhood. When I was in schooling, I had the critics. When I was in college, I had the critics. So when I was in profession, I had the critics. The critics, as I've told you, critics right from my parents, critics right from my teacher. So critic doesn't mean that he is an enemy and negative and all, but I had it. So I told my friends and all, I have tested that I can explain you how these critics and opponents helped me, and I could have the leverage to do something and achieve something little bit, okay, nothing great. What I can tell you, in one couplet in my book I have written, मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है. I repeat once again, adu is the word in Urdu, enemy, dushman. There is a word adawat. Adawat means dushmani. I have written the couplet, मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है. What does meaning? I have the inspiration. I am inspired. I am motivated because of my enemy. I am inspired. I am motivated because of my enemy. मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है. संवरते रहता हूं आईने में दुश्मन के. I am repeating the couplet. Second line says, I have written, संवरते रहता हूं आईने में दुश्मन के. मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है. संवरते रहता हूं आईने में दुश्मन के. I'll explain in English. See, I told, it's a case study. I take about myself. I talk about myself. My opponent and critics, they inspired me and they motivated me because I'm blessed. Why I'm blessed? Because the God, the Almighty, has given very, very strong, active critics, very, very strong, active competitors, opponents, and enemy. Somewhere, 2 decades ago, I have in one of the speech I quoted like, keep the enemy stronger. I used to tell that my enemy must be stronger. So in this couplet, what I'm telling, मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है. I am inspired, I am confident, I am motivated because of my enemy. The second line of couplet I say, संवरते रहता हूं आईने में दुश्मन के. So I try to change myself. I try to improve myself. I try to progress myself. I try to develop myself. Where by seeing the enemy like a mirror. So my enemy is something like a mirror. So whatever I do, if I see the faces of my friends, Unnecessary, they may be pressing. If I do even the nonsense activity, a useless activity or irrelevant activity, because he is my friend, he will praise like anything. Arey Masood Sahab, you have done, Masood bhai, you have done great job. But it is nonsense. But whereas my enemy is a real mirror. Okay? Even if I make the mistake 1%, he will not stop. He will identify, he will recognize, and he will sometimes publicize also. And I want that one. Because of that, I say, these critic, opponents and all, you have to take it as a mirror and see your face, see your activity, see your performance. Okay? In that mirror, what is that mirror? Your opponent, your enemy. So because of that, I say, and I strongly believe, मेरा अदू ही मेरा हौसला बढ़ाता है, संवरते रहता हूं आईने में दुश्मन के. Friends, with great simplicity and humility, I can tell you that I'm confident that the philosophy, the concept of reversing the enemy, it is very, very useful in your personal life, in your family life, in your professional life, in your social life. If you want to have it, I'm giving a homework. Remember, because within 1 minute I'm going to close this one. I'm going to tell you, identify the worst competitor and opponent and enemy. Identify. Okay? In your personal life, family life and professional life. And have a target. I think within 30 days you must transform it. So if you are a student, identify who is the candidate who is having the worst relationship with you. Identify. And I'll give the 30 days time. Follow all these concepts. Follow all these traits. Follow all these cases and examples. And I can tell you within 1 month, he will become your best friend if you are in the classroom. Similarly, your relative, your colleague, and in your social life, even your neighbor. If he is your competitor, if you do not have the positive relationship, work for 1 month. Follow the concept and follow the process. And I can assure you that your worst enemy will become the best friend. Otherwise, I'll be there and I can give my contact also. And before that, I wanted to tell you how I'm confident. My confidence because of this book. I read it actually. This book, you can go to the Google search, you can find out the title of this book is The 100. It is written, the caption is written, a ranking of the most influential persons in the history, the world history. Michael Hart, author, has ranked, what is the population of world? Now it is coming to 8 billion. He has written in 1978, he has taken about 7 billion population. Out of that, he ranked 100 highly influential persons. And he found these are the 100 influential persons. All the great names are there in that. And after reading this book, I found one common trait, common approach, common personality of these 100 individuals. Most of them, they had the capability of reversing the enemy. They transformed their worst enemy to the best friend. And that is proved from this book when I read it. I suggest you to go to this book, The 100. You will find most influential person. I think with this, friends, I will close because I have taken more than 40 minutes. Okay. It's over to my my friend, Dr. Maran, to do the further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you. Very excellent. What the title of this event, the powerful event, the power seminar, the inspiring young leaders. I think it's a really very, very inspiring speech, inspiring young mind to realize, to intuit, to aspire to be a great leader for the country, which is really very great and amazing. Very excellent, sir. Your contribution for the 45 minutes, what you had experience for the past 30 years in different dimensions. You have given such a great manner, the great presentations. So in this aspect, I am really very grateful. Thanks, sir. You have quoted what the Gandhiji Nelson Mandela, Gracians, various poetries, various thoughts, various literatures. The way of presentations, the way of performance, the way of intuiting the young minds to be great leaders, the aspired leaders. I think this kind of energy is more important for the students. This kind of guidelines is more important for the students. This kind of motivation is more important for the students. I am really grateful. Thank the AIMS organizing such a wonderful, inspiring, and my leaders session, which is highly success, like you people, the highly intellectual people. I think here, I want YouTube viewer. They have asked one questions. I think what's her name? I think K Soni Vanjari. I think they are asking what very simple and funny questions. Why we should care about our enemies, sir? I think this is the questions from the YouTube viewers. Why we should care about our enemy? I think this is the question. Yeah.
See, actually, it is not the enemy. First of all, you must know the definition of enemy and yourself.
Yeah.
You are a human being, okay, and your enemy is also human being.
Yes.
The basic mantra, the management mantra, before going to the reversing the enemy, the basic mantra is we must love the human being.
Yeah.
This is the basic philosophy. The world philosophy is very simple. What I say, it is not your competitor and opponent. It is the individual. It is the human beings. So whoever are there, just now I told you, our population has touched to the 8 billion. So if you start with the basic philosophy of relating the individuals, so when you relate the individual, even your enemy is included there and all. What I say technically, because you are bothered and you are struggling, you are wasting your energy and time by focusing on your opponent, competitor and critic, you are wasting your energy. So that I wanted to tell you that no, we have to use our energy, time and mind, because the Almighty has given for the positive things, not to waste the energy and time and concern for these things and all. So love the human beings, that's all, including your enemy. Tell me, sir, any other thing?
Yes, very excellent, sir. I think the viewers, including the YouTube viewers, Zoom link, the chatbacks, what happened here, very excellent feedback for you. I'm really appreciating,
This is
excellent
this
feedback.
Is trial and error method. I told you the concept is new, everybody is new.
Yeah.
I myself is also new.
It's great. I think it's great honor. I have one small doubt from your lectures. I think I have observed right from beginning till now. You have very excellent speech and wonderful thoughts. I think we know about this. Now we are talking about the enemies. We know about our enemy, but we are not unable to find out our the right enemies. Even people might be treated as a good friend. We always supporting for us. They always traveling with us. But that guy is become an enemy. How do you find out that kind of enemy? How do you treat that kind of enemy in our life?
See, what I will tell you, you can have a experiment actually. What is the experiment? Let us assume that next 24 hours, you do your activity, household activity, personal activity, everything you do it and all.
Yes.
How many persons are recalled and remembered by your memory? Just I'm giving a hypothetical example from today 4 o'clock to next day 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. So I'll be recalling the memory of, let us say, about 60 persons. 60 persons.
Yes,
okay?
great.
But all the 60 persons I may not be thinking for 24 hours, remember. Okay?
Correct.
All these 60 persons for next 24 hours, how many individuals have taken the top 3 times?
Yes.
Somebody is for out of 24 hours, 6 hours I'm thinking about X, 5 hours I'm thinking about 4, and 3 hours I'm thinking about somebody Z. So usually what happens, I have seen that you recall, you remember, and you try to focus on the individuals more on negative characters and less on positive characters actually. Remember one thing, you have the best friend, you have the worst enemy. So usually you more time with the worst enemy because your brain will be working. subconsciously. So that is the thing. What I'm telling, if you spend your time for this negative character and negative traits, I think it is wasting our energy and resources and all. Resources doesn't mean only the money. Even our time, our brain, our energy, our resources, these are all resources actually. So if you focus, not only 24 hours, next 1 hour, you see how many individuals you remember. And most of them are negative background they may be having. So you try to identify and transform them. Take it as a challenge of life. You take so many challenges. You take 1 month challenge and transform your worst enemy to the best friend. That you can do it. I'm confident.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your great inspiring speech. So with this, on behalf of AIMS and my own behalf and our audience, the great audience, my grateful thank for your valuable speech and wonderful thoughts and experience what you have shared for the past 1 hour with our students. It's really very great. And also, I'm really very grateful thank the president, AIMS.
Dr. Maramji, I'm afraid that how much my Hindi and Urdu you have understood. I'm afraid actually.
We'll discuss later.
Okay, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss later. Okay, no issue, sir. And also, I'm really very honored and also very heartful thank our president, Dr. Nadu, brother, AIMS president, and also Venkateshwar secretary, and treasurer and all regional vice presidents and chapter chairmen, treasurer, secretaries, and all the office bearers, including Dr. Sunil, and other team members in AIMS office. How you are doing, how you are initiating this kind of work every week, which is really very, very grateful task. All our members, all our AIMS members. So with this, once again,
Dr. Maramji, you remind the participant and attendees they must submit the feedback form. So that they will get the e-certificate actually. The feedback form is very important.
Yeah. I request the audience, those who are connected, and you have to register, you have to give feedback, you have to give the feedback as well as your name and this is what you call here, your college. Then only the AIMS peoples will be able to forwarding the certificate forwarding participation certificate. Please, all of you, put it in the chat box. You have to give your name and your college and also your degree and also your degrees. Unless otherwise they won't support for you. But anyhow, I think you might be for certificates. The certificate is not a matter. My credential is more matters. I think my students, how they are connected, on what basis they have connected, only in terms of knowledge, in terms of intellectuals, in terms of their involvement for their upgrading and upgrading and updating the skills and knowledge in different dimensions. So with this, once again, thank each and every people who have connected for the past 1 hour and also organizing such a wonderful, inspiring young leaders sessions for the current week. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks all my dear friends. Thank you, Sunil, sir, and all your teams. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sunil, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Sunil, to you, Venkateshwar-ji, Nandagopal-ji, President and board and office members.
Thank you, sir.
Rohini and Murli also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.